Hey guys, Inflatable Robot here, and in this video I wanted to quickly go over using the Zoia from Empress FX to add features and augment other bits of audio gear. In this case it's the data corrupter from Earthquaker Devices, which is a excellent sound box. It makes some fantastic sounds, but it's a little unruly. It's based on a PLL circuit, which is phase locked loop, which produces a kind of crazy hard sync sort of sound. The issue I have with it is that there's no mix control and it's just really harsh. It's all the way, it's turned up to 11 all the time. And I'd like to be able to tone that down for use in further sound design. So let's use the Zoia to add those features that I'm looking for. Let's take a look. Okay, so here I have the Zoia from Empress FX. I've got the data corrupter from Earthquaker Devices. I've got a mofo, which is going to provide the sound. And I've got a Novation circuit, which I'm only using as a MIDI controller because I want to have some knobs for the Zoia. So first things first, let's hear our dry sound. Cool. So that's going into the Zoia, into the left input. I'm not doing a stereo image with the Zoia because I'm using the additional inputs and outputs as a send and return. So let's look at how I have that set up. First of all, let's turn this on and let's set up an input. So interface, I want an audio input, and I'm going to set that to white. And instead of it being stereo, I want to set it to left input. There we go. So now when I hit some keys, you could see the input light bouncing, which means the Zoia can hear my synthesizer, which is good. Now I want to set up a audio output for the whole thing, which will be audio output. I'm going to set that to white. Gain control, sure. And instead of stereo, once again, I just want to have the left output. Okay, done. So I have the left output of the Zoia going into my audio interface. The left input is coming from the mofo. Now I have the right input and right output connected to the data corrupter. So let's set up those inputs and outputs. So first I'm going to set up the output, which goes from the Zoia out to the input of the data corrupter. And red is fine. We're going to set it to right this time. Done. And then I'm going to take my audio input, set that to red. Stereo is going to be right. There we go. Okay, so we still don't have any sound because I haven't set up any sort of connections to get the input to the output. But before I do that, I want to set up that first augmentation, that first modification, which is to add a mix control, because the data corrupter itself does not have any sort of mix. It's just full on or off. Okay, so now I want to set up an audio balance. So I'm going to go to audio modules and then audio balance right here. Now let's go output mono, which is fine because I've only got the one output. Now I'm going to take, I've got two inputs for the audio balance. I've got a mix and I've got an output. So I'm going to take my dry input and connect that. And then I'm going to take my input from the data corrupter and connect that. I also want to connect the input, the main input, to the output so the data corrupter gets the sound. And now I have the signal bouncing here, and I can see that I've got a mix. So if I take this and put this into the output, ooh, loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. So now if I turn all of these knobs here, which is the square output, which is basically a huge fuzz, subharmonic, which is this section over here, and the oscillator, which is this section over here. I have mix controls for that on the data corrupter itself. And I've added a mix control between the dry signal from the MOFO and the signal from the data corrupter, which I can set up a control from the circuit so I have a knob to control that amount. Let's do that right now. So I've got the setting, the mix button highlighted. I want to hold shift and hit the star button. This will add it into the start effects, the favorites. And then from there I can back out and then hold shift and hit star again, and I go into the starred settings menu where I can see all of the settings that I have starred. Now from here, if I hold shift and hit star again, then I'll get to the starred Midi CC setting. So here I want to click on this and we'll go one to the left and it says learn. So if I twist this knob, I've now set up a control for that so I can see that I can move that in real time. So here's the dry signal from the MOFO. And I can fade over to just the data corrupter here. Oh yeah. Okay, so now that we've got that set up, I also wanted to add a filter. So let's break the connection from the audio input, the right audio input, which is the signal coming from the data corrupter. Let's break that and let's put a filter in between. So let's kill that. Now I want to put a filter like right here. So audio modules, and let's see, that one's usually up at the top, multi-filter, here we go. Low pass. Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. So now I've got the input of the filter. I'm going to run the data corrupter in there. And then here's that input. Okay, so the input for the mix is here. I want to take the output, connect that. And now I have, if I move the thing over. So I'm going to set the mix all the way over to the data corrupter. And here I can open up this filter. But like before, I want to have a physical knob for that. So what I'm going to do once again is with the filter frequency selected, I'm going to hold the shift button and hit star. That adds it to the menu. I can back out, hold shift, hit star, and then hold shift and hit star again. And now we can see that the frequency, the multi-frequency of the filter is in this menu. So I can click that, go one to the left. Hello. It's going wild. And I'm going to use this knob right here. Now it's learned that. Super. So now I have a smooth, real-time physical control over that filter setting. And with this knob here, I can affect the blend of the two signals. That crazy sound. Let's take this. Oh, that's wild. Okay. I think I've got some overhead. I'm only using like 10% of the processor, so I may as well add a, let's put in a, I think a reverb would do well. Reverb light? No, let's do the ghost verb. There we go. One in, one out. Done. Okay, so now instead of sending directly to the output from the mixer, I want to break that connection by hitting both of these cells and then going delete. And then I want to take that into the input and the output into the output. Now I want to add some controls for the reverb as well. So I think I'll use these four down here for the various controls. Let's see, we need a decay. So yeah, I'm going to add that. The rate, nah. Oh, the data corruptor's going crazy. Man, this thing's wild. Okay, what else do we have? Those two will work. Okay, so now I'm going to back out of that, go into the star menu, go into it again. Now I'm going to go down to this one right here, click that, go one to the left, and now I have a control for that. Okay, I also want a control for the mix. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to star that, back out, star, star again, and then go down to the one I want, go one left, and there's the mix. So now, okay. All right, I think that about does it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I'll answer them as best I can, and I'll see you next time.